If you're hiring hourly workers across dozens or hundreds of locations, you already know the problem. Thousands of applicants, and half of them are messaging to ask, "Did you get my application?" Your recruiting team physically can't answer that volume one by one. This is exactly the problem Amazon solved with an AI hiring assistant that handles hundreds of thousands of applications simultaneously during seasonal warehouse surges. And in this video, I'll show you how to build that same kind of chatbot from scratch, using a retail chain as our example, and deploy it live. Let's get into it. Log into your WotNot dashboard and head to the bot builder. Since this bot needs to respond to candidates on your careers page, click Build a Bot and select Build an Inbound Bot, then choose Web as your channel. At this point, WotNot gives you a few ready-made templates you can start from. But to show you exactly how the logic works, we'll build this one from scratch. First, the trigger block. Here, you connect it to the careers page you'll be embedding this on. Once connected, any candidate who opens the chat widget will trigger this bot. We'll walk through actually embedding that widget a bit later in this video during deployment. Right after the trigger, add an AI agent block. This is a good moment to rename it too. I'll call it Careers Agent, since that's the context for the rest of this build. First, we write the prompt. It should cover the agent's persona as a helpful, professional careers assistant, its tone, its response style, and a guardrail to never confirm interview outcomes, offers, or application status details that aren't explicitly in the knowledge base. I've written an example here you can adapt for your own business. Before we set up our exit paths, quickly, here's why we need them at all. An exit path is how the AI agent knows when a conversation needs to move past general Q&A into something more specific that only your team or a separate lookup can act on. We define the conditions that tell the agent when each one should trigger and exactly what details it needs to collect before it does. This bot uses two. The first is interested candidate. It fires when someone says something like, "I want to apply for this," or "How do I apply?" Required variables: name, email, position applied for, and resume link. Just ask them to share a Google Drive or Dropbox link to their resume using a plain text field. The second is application status check. It fires when someone asks about an application they've already submitted, like, "I applied last week. Has my resume been reviewed?" This is the one thing a general FAQ bot genuinely can't answer, since it requires looking up an actual record. Required variables here: name, email, position applied for, questions about the role itself, salary range, or how many interview rounds there are should all be answered directly from the knowledge base. Neither exit path needs to fire for those. Finally, connect the AI agent block to a knowledge base. You can train this a couple of ways. Either point the agent to your existing careers page, since it already lists your open roles and job descriptions, or upload PDF documents containing that same information. Now we connect each exit path to what it should actually do. For interested candidate, add a Google Sheets block, rename it Log Interested Candidate, and map name, email, position, and the resume link into a new row. Then add a message block, renamed Confirmation. "Thanks, I've passed your interest and resume along to our recruiting team. They'll follow up with next steps." For application status check, add a different Google Sheets block, rename it Lookup Application Status, and set its action to fetch record instead of create record, matching on name, email, and position against your existing recruiter tracking sheet, and pulling back the status column. Add a condition block right after. If a matching record was found, route to a message block sharing the actual status. Thanks name. Your application for position is currently status. If no match is found, route to a fallback. A Google Sheets block, action create record, that logs the request, and a message block letting the candidate know a recruiter will follow up manually. Both paths end automatically right after their final message sends. No separate end chat block needed. Now let's deploy this. Go to Settings, then Channels, and select Web. You'll get an embed snippet here. Copy that code and paste it into your careers page's HTML right before the closing body tag, and the chat widget will appear on the page. Once that's added, open your bot and go to the trigger block, and from the drop-down, confirm it's set to the page you just embedded it on. Finally, just click Deploy and toggle the bot on. Once enabled, it's live and ready to greet candidates. Let's test it. I'll open the chat and ask, how many interview rounds are there for the store associate role? There's the AI agent's answer, straight from the knowledge base. No handoff needed for that one. Now let's say, I want to apply for this role. That's the interested candidate path. It asks for my name, email, confirms the position, and asks for a link to my resume, logs it all, and lets me know the recruiting team will follow up. And now let's try the other one. I actually applied for a different role last week. Has my resume been reviewed yet? That's application status check. It asks for my details, checks the recruiter sheet, and there it is, my actual status pulled straight from the sheet. And that's a working recruitment chatbot, live in minutes, no code required. One that captures genuinely interested candidates for your recruiter and resolves application status checks instantly without anyone typing a single reply. If you're hiring hourly workers at scale across multiple locations, this is the exact problem it solves. Hundreds of I want to apply and what's my status messages handled automatically. Try it free at WotNot.io and let me know in the comments what flow you want to see built next.